I'm Kat, and this is today's Tarot. The first card that we have for today is the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is showing up to signify that we might be feeling a little bit sensitive today. Our feelers could be getting poked at by the world and situations in our lives, which could be forcing us to withdraw a little bit and look at what it actually would take to give us a sense of security and safety in our orientation with the world. Uh, Cancer is a card that's, or a sign that's ruled by the crab. So it has that kind of retreating energy to it when it gets startled. And so that could be kind of what we feel like a bit today, too. This feeling of being kind of sensitive and moody emotionally is bringing us to a place inward that feels a bit like the Two of Swords. If you consider the character in this card is balancing two swords on either side of them, one is severity and one is mercy, and they have a blindfold on, so they're really in a state of, I don't want to say mental anguish, but balancing things, trying to find equality between these two ideas that seem to be opposing, which are really preventing any kind of clarity happening. So it's an intuitive judiciousness, listening to your own intuitive sense and seeing how it actually responds to the situation. It can be hard when we are going through difficult times to not turn against ourselves and start criticizing ourselves, because, we're trying to figure things out, we're trying to understand things from every angle, and that can be really paralyzing. It can really force us to not make any movement in our lives whatsoever. And why would we ever want to give our power away to anyone to be able to make us feel like that? Just doesn't make any sense, right? So we're going inward. We're measuring things with our own energetic centers to see how we feel in a situation. And that is ultimately going to give us clarity. Third card of the day, a single sword rather than the two swords that we might have been feeling like we've been in all day. The Two of Swords is literally like two opposing forces that pull us in two different directions. You can see the character in this card is pretty isolated away from any kind of help or community because they're just in their head. We are getting clarity by either some information that's coming to us today or a communication that's coming through that's literally allowing us to set one of the swords down, which has been in conflicting energy with the other sword. And so we only have one sword, which is the sword of clarity that allows us to cut through clouds of illusions, cut through darkness, cut through despair, literally use it to have a sense of what is no longer necessary and cutting through the excess so that we know where we're going. There may be some pain that we're experiencing right now emotionally in our lives just based on the cards that have come up. And yet I feel it's really important to remind people that our emotions are a spectrum of experience. And it's only through going through some hard times that we really value the good things and we actually get to understand what we actually need. And so even when we go through difficult situations, it can show us our most strength in our character. It's like cutting through the BS, cutting through the false ideas and the things that people have kind of blanketed you with as far as what they see in you or what they see you should be doing. This is my life, this is your life, this is our lives, and ultimately what is important is that we feel good inside of it and that we have a sense of joy. We have a sense of satisfaction in how we are in the world and who we're interacting with. And so hopefully through this experience of hardship, we can let go of the things that don't work so that we can open up to things that ultimately help us with our growth in a positive way rather than something that feels strangling or limiting to our ultimate potential. So we're all going through a lot of changes right now. We have Uranus in square to Saturn that we're coming up on the 18th, so just in a couple days. And so we have this planet of Saturn, which is like, this is our responsibility, this is what I'm going to hone in on. And we have Uranus that comes in and says, you know what, I'm going to change things up because that isn't really in your highest good, and it's not actually going to help you get where you want to go. So I'm going to throw a wrench in that parade, and let's see what happens. So in the process of becoming through that change and shift, know that there is a huge community cheering you on and rooting for you, and that is looking forward to seeing what you shed in yourself in your own becoming. That is our reading for today. I send you a heaping load of love and a good wish as we're all getting through it and navigating through the times ahead. I'll see you again tomorrow, and I give you a lot of love. Bye-bye for now.